Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ryan with the Travel by Ryan channel. I first want to thank all of you that have watched any of the videos on this page that I've shared since this channel went live. I want to say this is the first time I've actually made a video where my face shows at the beginning of it, but because of the unique nature of this flight that I'm about to share, I figured it was a better time than ever now to put this video together. This is going to cover United Airlines Flight 882, which is a regular scheduled service from Tokyo Haneda Airport in Japan to Chicago. And I do have the details up on the Aviation Herald since there was an incident involved. This plane registration is November 12010, which had 329 people on board, including myself, and it was climbing out of Haneda's runway 16 left. The incident was we had a right engine that decided it just was going to die. Almost immediately after takeoff, we had a problem, a pretty significant problem with performance in that right engine. It didn't perform well at all. Ultimately, the engine did have to be shut down because of the severity of the problem identified, and we did have to declare an emergency and return ultimately to Haneda Airport approximately 75 minutes after we took off. We also took off a little later than normal. Normally, we're very proactive with getting out of there on time, normally getting off the ground within 15 minutes after leaving the gate. It took almost 40 something plus minutes to get in the air. So we were already off to an unusually late start for our flight. It was a very hot day in Tokyo. Any of you that have been to Tokyo or anywhere in Japan within the last couple of months knows that this has been officially the hottest summer ever in recorded history for Japan. It's just been excruciatingly hot. It was another 100+ degree day. When it's that hot, while planes can obviously fly in extreme conditions, there are adjustments that pilots and the flight crew they have to make to accommodate for hotter temperatures and humidity and stuff of that nature. And I just think that there was a lot of things working against us already trying to get out of there that particular evening. But enough about that. We did experience an engine failure, and this will make it the most significant failure I've ever experienced on an aircraft so far. I've had plenty of other incidents that have happened where a slat has not appropriately worked. A flat may be malfunctioning. There might be some engine performance issues, but the engines themselves run fine and they're able to run the engines to our destination. We've had de-icer issues. We've had other issues where we may have had to return in the past, but I've never had an engine failure before, and not one as dramatic as that was, because upon takeoff, again, I fly from here to Japan a lot, and I fly a lot in general. You get used to these routes, and you can tell almost instantly when something has gone very wrong. When we took off very shallow. It was not a fast climb at all. It almost felt like we didn't go any higher than 1,000 feet before the first stop, but we got up about to 4,000 to 5,000 feet, and then we kind of hung out there for a few moments, and then ultimately we did get up to 10,000 feet, which would be the highest we would go for that flight. An emergency was declared, the right engine was shut down. We spent about 45, 50 minutes dumping fuel over the bay, and then we did return in to land at the airport with no further issues. I know that airlines do nothing but get ridiculed for a number of reasons that are very valid reasons to ridicule airlines and flight teams for. But, in this day and time, especially where a lot of people's faith in aviation has kind of really been sullied by recent incidents, including, of course, the American Airlines situation and the Air India incident and several other high-profile incidents. The flight crew of my aircraft showed exactly why I love flying and why I know, even in the worst of situations, we can put our faith in these pilots and in the training that they have to get us from point A to point B. And if something should happen that makes it so we can't get to point B, that they'll at least get us back to point A as quickly and as safely as possible. And I really want to give kudos to our our captain, our first officer, the relief crew, everyone was up in that cockpit, I know, working around the clock to figure out the issue with the engine. And they got us safely back to the ground. The captain actually came out afterwards, and she was speaking with people, making sure everyone was, okay. And it just was a fantastic scene and performance by the United flight team. As soon as I post this video, I actually plan to send a compliment over to the United team for the captain and the entire flight team, because they don't get enough kudos. We think about our inconveniences. We think about the money we might have to incur because of something that happened with the aircraft. We just think about, I'm going to miss my connection. Guys, when an engine fails at less than 1,000 feet, you could die. If the wrong decision is made, your plane could fall out of the sky, and it could be a really bad day. And all I care about anytime I'm in the air is, please get me from point A to point B safely. I respect the aircraft. I respect how amazing and beautiful and dangerous flying can seem, because the dangerous part is very subjective, because in my opinion, there is no form of transportation safer. But it can be dangerous if something goes wrong. And I just know that we have some of the greatest pilots in the world that fly these airlines. They have gone into depth in countless hours and given up so much free time to get us to our destination safely, to fly commercially. And I'm just very blessed and pleased that we had a fantastic crew that handled our UA 882 flight. So with that out of the way, this is going to be footage from that flight. I was not on the right side of the aircraft, so I was unable to record the right engine and all of its problems. I was on the left side of the aircraft in seat 30A, which is Premium Plus. It's right behind the Premium Economy cabin, and it's the first row that starts the economy section of the plane. So I had a very great view of the engine right there. I will have a little snippet, about a 30-40 second snippet in the middle of this video that will actually show the fuel dumping when we had initiated the fuel dump. I'll show a picture of what our entire loop looked like. And I also want to give a disclaimer that this is the first footage that I've really recorded on a different camera. I'm not particularly thrilled with the video footage from that camera, but I will still share the footage anyway for you. So I hope you guys enjoy. Stay safe. Again, regardless of this incident and everything you've been hearing on the news, flying is still an incredibly safe way to travel. And please don't give up on your dreams of, if you've never flown on an aircraft before, don't let this prevent you from doing it. Know that the flight crew is going to take really good care of you. And if something should go wrong, you're going to get on the ground safely. So you guys take care, and hope you all have a fantastic day.